What's up, War Report family? It's your boy C Dub. It's Rivalry Week, and we will be talking about the Iron Bowl. Let's get to it. Happy Wednesday, everyone. It's the day before Thanksgiving. We'll say before we get out of here, hope you guys have a safe and happy holiday. Glad you're here hanging out with us on the Midweek Report, courtesy of auburnsports.com. Share the link to other Auburn fans, family, friends, so on and so forth. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Get yourself a green name. I can tell you exactly why you need to do it and how to do that.
Pretty simple process. All you got to do is click that there join button that you see, and then you can select what level you would like to participate in. Final giveaways for tickets this week. I think they've already happened. I'll have to confirm that. But this is the last home game of the season, other than the bowl game. So we'll see if we can secure some bowl tickets once those come available. But you still have to be a patron to do that. Film review is going to be coming. You have to be a member to be a part of that. So a lot of great things coming up. And basketball season is already here, and we're definitely into the basketball content already. Some member-only content going up right now for basketball folks. So make sure you stay locked in for that. If you are a member and you want to gift a membership, you could do that right now from the live chat. And we appreciate those who continue to participate in that way. Another mug giveaway today, courtesy of War Eagle Oil. Hashtag get your weight up in the live chat to be able to be a part of this drawing. And we will do that drawing right around the 1 hour mark. Make sure that you have your spelling correct so we can do that for you. And lock in with the network, the War Report Podcast Network, the College Loop, Auburn Express, Uptempo Podcast, and Just a Sec Pods, all a part of the network. A lot of audio only content going up over there. And yeah, let's get into it, man.
So grab some super chats. Oda Smith says, I walked through my door 45 minutes ago, 24 days in Gaza. I'd rather go back to my 2010 Afghanistan combat deployment, which was bad. That's how rough these 24 days were. We thought we had 13 more weeks. God is good all the time. War Eagle, glad that you're home safe in time for the holidays. That's pretty cool that you chose to spend your few moments at home with us, man. So good to have you back. Glad to see you. Also, Charles Allen, wishing a blessed Thanksgiving to the War Report and to your families. Happy Thanksgiving to you, sir. Thanks for repping us and being part of the family.
Thank you, Charles.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to all of you who are joining us for tonight's show. Gentlemen, how y'all doing, man?
Good.
Yeah, man. No complaints.
We here. Ready to get my hate on, baby.
There's plenty. We're gonna be doing that the whole show. That's all I got left in me. Corey Dub says we won by 30 last night, and Bruce was pissed. You have to love it.
Yeah, man. Coach Bruce Pearl understands kind of where we are as a team right now. We're good, not great. We've got some good things that we're doing. We're doing some care, like it's been repetitive, like things that are happening right now. So it's become a habit of things that we're doing poorly, particularly the start of second halves have not been good. And, as he said in the presser, we haven't put two halves of good basketball together yet versus anybody. And once you get into quality opponents, those things will start to be a multiplying effect. That's why Baylor won that game, because Auburn didn't play two halves of good basketball. Sloppy play through portions of the game, not just every now and then, but like going through stretches 5-6 minutes at a time where you're just not playing good, taking quick shots, all that kind of stuff. So doesn't burn you against the worst teams on your schedule, but as you start to get into the better teams, that stuff will start to bite you. So they gotta clean it up.
Indeed. And with it being early in the season, there'll be plenty of time for that. Hopefully, we do see progress with Auburn basketball. Let's talk football, man, and let's get into some predictions. Let's talk about some of the games that we have coming up. We have plenty of time to talk Iron Bowl, our sentiments about this week. But before we do, let's get into how we stand going into Iron Bowl week with some of the predictions. Last week, oh yeah, we didn't disagree on much. So
No.
Kentucky
all went 7-1. Was it Kentucky who?
Yeah.
Who they play?
South Carolina and lost.
Oh,
Yeah. We had no faith in South Carolina.
Well, I didn't have a lot of faith
Right.
in Kentucky, but that was just kind of like you got to pick one, right?
Yeah, but zero faith in South Carolina, and then they went and did that.
They did that thing that Ike thought they was going to do all season long. They finally did it, I guess.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll see what this week lies. If there's any dissension amongst the ranks, see what happens. Let's get to it, gentlemen. I got them here. Got to do the first game tomorrow, night game. Ole Miss on the road at Mississippi State. Mississippi State has fired their head coach. I don't think Lane screws it up this year. But what say you guys?
Yeah. Mississippi State's not a very good team.
I'm surprised that it's a 10.5 point spread. I thought it might actually be a little more.
The odds makers are respecting the rivalries pretty heavily this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
It being at home at Mississippi State and it being a rivalry, I think is the reason why this spread. I mean, heck, we haven't gotten to our game, but I think that's why the spread is what it is for our game as well.
Right.
But the odds makers, I think, are respecting rivalries and the home field here, and that's why this line is what it is. But I would still take Ole Miss in this game. I don't see Mississippi State having
much to play for.
I just don't think they have it.
Pride.
Yeah.
I don't even know what Mississippi State looks like in wake of the firing. Like,
I didn't watch their game last week, so
is Roger still back? Is he still out?
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is all my Mississippi State friends are in shambles every week, every hour of every day. They hate everything about football. So I've not heard anything positive coming out of that camp. I'm going with Ole Miss. Lots of positivity coming from the Rebels.
I'm starting to think you use the term friend very loosely.
My Mississippi State friends. Right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. You could be from Mississippi State and a friend. Kind of.
I mean, I didn't say that was impossible. I'm just saying you got a lot of friends, bro. Well, I don't have a lot of friends. Maybe that's what I'm like. Very few people I call friends. So
Mike G be like, my Miami of Ohio friends say that.
Do I have those?
Hey, whoever we matched up with for the bowl game, he got friends there.
That's right. I'm well traveled. I've been well traveled these last 20 years. So
I travel a lot too. I just don't pick up a lot of friends on the journey.
we will
buy more weed.
Older people who don't do weeds, he did not mean that. He was lying.
Rogueshop.com, use 50%. Off that order.
Yeah, be all right.
So we got Ole Miss, all four of us there. So we're all in agreement there. We'll probably be all in agreement with this upcoming one. Mizzou at Arkansas. They're really respecting the rivalry here, right?
Yeah. I'm riding with Mizzou, man. I've been a believer all year. They lost. I thought they played respectably versus Georgia. I think Brady Cook has had a great season. I respect what Eli Drinkowitz has built. They've got some really good recruits coming in. They've done. I don't know. Just finish out the year. Just don't lay an egg against Arkansas, an Arkansas team that has not been good. Yeah. They've showed flashes, and do they pull something out of the hat here at home at the end of the year? Maybe, but like there's absolutely zero reason not to pick Missouri here.
Arkansas's down bad, man.
Yeah, I mean.
They're down bad.
Sam Pittman looks like he's going to survive.
Yes, he has been given
which is why they're down. Which is why they're down bad.
Yeah, they did. They came out right. The AD, B was it? Came out and gave a vote of confidence to Sam Pittman.
Yep.
So he looked at that coaching pool and was like, "Who are we gonna get? We're behind Sam." So Yeah,
Nice.
I don't think they're going to win this one. I think Missouri's got this in the bag.
Okay. All right. I'm going Mizzou too. B. Scratching the beard. That means he's probably going Mizzou. But what you say? What say you, sir?
There's gonna be a rivalry week dog that gets a win.
Yeah,
I don't know who it is. They usually always is. Like last year. I think I'm still shocked that Texas A&M beat LSU last year when they were on their way. LSU was on their way to the SEC championship game. Arkansas is not good. Mizzou's good, right? They're good, right?
You tell me, B.
To say that they played Georgia close, yeah, but we played Georgia close. Are we good? Like that's smoke and mirrors.
What?
Missouri
No.
is good. Missouri is good.
Yeah, they're just not Georgia good. Like I think yeah, we played Georgia close, but mostly because of our defense. I'm telling you, their offense. I mean, ultimately, Georgia has more playmakers. They were clearly not a better team than Georgia, right? Like they're not quite there yet, but they've got a solid squad this year. They're just not beat Georgia good. They don't have 50,000 5-stars like Georgia. I would love to hear the argument for picking Missouri in this game. Picking Arkansas in this game.
The only argument I have is that Sam Pittman is actually. I think he's a good coach. Okay. I think he's just got one hand tied behind his back all the time, and every now and then he's going to show that he's a good coach. I thought the effort in the Florida game proved that he was a good coach because you get your players up after being how down they were.
Maybe that was the game they did it, B.
That may have been the one. I think that was the one. Yeah. Let me not assume he's got another one. I'm trying to make some justification for he just got that vote of confidence so he can rally his troops. There won't be these questions swirling around whether or not he's going to be there next year or not. No, I don't think so. I think Missouri wins. I got to find the right game. It's going to be one. Somebody's going to get upset. I got to pick the right one.
No, John Neighbors still looks sick. I'm going Mizzou.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, Philip Coleman says KJ Jefferson could come back for a 17th year.
Hey man, the pandemic is gonna create a lot of record holders,
super duper seniors,
a lot of record holders, man. These 5th-year starters finna get all.
Man, they need to go turn the keys over to the young boy, man. KJ, bro, thank you for your service.
He's gotten worse every year.
Keep it pushing, my guy. And every year they hype him up like this gonna be the year it gets better. No, it's not. This is not the year it got better. Now, they changed OC, so it did set him back a little bit to start the year. So I can maybe count that as a reason why his stats went down, but he didn't actually get better at anything.
Right.
He doesn't throw the ball more accurately. He doesn't run the ball with more passion or see it differently than he did before. He doesn't make better decisions. He is who he is. And that's not bad. He just real regular.
Yeah.
But tall. So, Cam Newton, get that crap out of here, man.
We stopped hearing that comparison, though, didn't we? That's right.
It'll come back. Don't worry. As soon as he gets into draft conversations, or if he decides to come back for another year, it'll come back. People will start saying it again.
Yuck.
They can't help themselves.
War Eagle says Mike got friends. The next TWR shirt.
Do it.
I will. You know what? I will make a t-shirt that says "I'm friends with Mike G" and put it on the
wall. I was out to dinner with some people tonight and ran into some people who are fans of the show. But it would be really funny to see somebody with that shirt on just randomly in the wild.
Yeah, I'm going to make that. That will be in the War Report shop by the end of next week. Y'all just look out for it.
Is there a way to give it to the people who are in message boards? Oh man. Anyway, all right, guys. Next game. Kentucky at number 10, Louisville. What y'all think about this one? Does Kentucky bounce back after losing? Okay.
I'm
Okay.
done with Kentucky. I'm done with Kentucky.
Is this the one B? Is this the one that
Done
you're
with
looking
this.
for?
This isn't the one, but Louisville stands. I think they've already secured a spot in the ACC championship game to
They
face
have.
Florida State.
Yeah.
Louisville is the team that is actually not as good as their record says, but the ACC is terrible.
Mm.
So ACC good is like SEC Tennessee. You know what I mean? Like that's about where they are. So could
This year's
Kentucky,
Tennessee.
right? This year's Tennessee is what I mean. So could Kentucky beat Tennessee? Wait, did they beat Tennessee?
No.
Okay, that's right. Tennessee won close. That's right. I don't think they got it, man. Kentucky's actually as bad. You know, we were on the hunt for a quarterback in the second window, and there was like Devin Leary.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the first
Jaden
window,
Thorne.
actually.
Oh, that's right. Right when Hugh Freeze got here. Okay. Devin Leary didn't work out. He's not good. What's the kid? He went to FAU. Casey
Thompson.
He
That
got
was
hurt.
second window.
Injury prone. He got hurt. Peyton Thorne. I mean, I guess it's up to interpretation whether or not it worked out. I would say it hasn't.
I can't wait till we do a retrospective on this season and we start talking about some of the storylines we had going into the season and how those things were either terribly stated or really good. It's going to be an interesting conversation. Look out next Wednesday when we start having that conversation about who we think was the best transfer quarterback to enter the SEC.
It's going to be a good talk. Good talk. Yeah, I just find it interesting. Of course, we get to talk about the other conferences because we play some out of conference matchups in the SEC, but Kentucky didn't. They didn't get better. Offense didn't get better. Devin Leary wasn't it. He was mediocre his last season at NC State, and everybody was like, "Oh, but he had a great year in 2021." It did not matter. He's mediocre, which mirrors some things that have been going on here as well. And I just found that interesting that they're right back in the Mark Stoops spot. Decent defense, terrible offense, mediocre record. Louisville.
All right.
Yep. Louisville.
Mike.
I'm going Louisville here. Just, I don't know. Like I've watched a little bit of them. Ranked at number 10. I would be on kind of the ACC being, vanilla. But I haven't seen anything from Kentucky that gives me any faith in what they got going on down there. So I'm just going to follow the odds makers on this one.
Yeah, the problem with Kentucky is they got the defense to give Louisville problems. They just don't have an offense. I mean, again, this has been constant in the Mark Stoops era. Yeah. Eventually, that defense will give out, even if they do start strong. And I think Louisville will eventually run them down. Over and under is interesting, but we'll definitely see how that plays out. But I'm going Louisville here. Texas A&M, the Jimbo-less Aggies go to Death Valley.
Plus 1.5.
Say what? Oh, my bad.
Typo.
Of course. It wouldn't be right if I didn't have at least one right.
What you got, John? What you got, guys? It's tricky because A&M's defense is pretty good. I just don't know if they can keep up with LSU, though. I'm going LSU.
No, I'm going LSU, but I'm going LSU. Jaden Daniels has to secure the Heisman this week. I think that he can still find
a way he's going to secure it. They're going to still try to pretend.
Yeah, listen. I mean, he's got to have a good game this week to make sure.
If he has one slip up, they'll just swear that that was.
Yeah, they're going to use it as an excuse to give it to one of the Pac-12 guys. He's got to have the game. I think he shows up because he is the Heisman winner. Like the Heisman winner shows up in this game. 300 yards passing, at least 50 to 75 yards rushing, and 4 touchdowns. That's the stat line that he needs in this one, right? And I think he can do it because, look, man, Auburn's defense has been pretty good this year in keeping teams from doing what they do best a ton. And he absolutely shredded them. I think he will do the same to A&M's defense. Because when you're that dude, that's what you do. Right? Michael Penix, it's funny, like he's had some regular games. in spite of being up there leading the NCAA in passing yards, man, down the stretch here, he's had some games where it just has not looked very Heisman worthy.
Playing tight.
Yeah, like Bo's going nuts. Certainly, I think 6 touchdown passes last week in the first half. Insane, but asterisk because it's the Pac-12. Yeah, a lot of people. He took a lot of heat last week because people were like, "Oh, well, you left him in versus Georgia State." Like, he played 4 more snaps total than Bo Nix did.
All right.
So,
and
yes,
both schools could stand to bolster their quarterback stats right now. Like that's going to happen.
Yeah. Because let's be clear, statistically, Bo is well behind like 3 dudes.
Yeah.
So it's I wouldn't have blamed Oregon if they had left him in to try to do that because have you guys seen the guy on Twitter, the John Canzano or something that said that Jane Daniels would be holding the clipboard at Oregon or Washington?
Yeah, I try to ignore nonsense though, so I just like blocking and kept going.
I literally said you would be holding the clipboard at Oregon or Washington, and I was just like, "What? Okay, bro." Like, but he's got to go out and I'm picking Jaden Daniels in this one because I think he's got to go out and win the Heisman, and I think that he's going to do it. Yeah. I think he's going to do it versus A&M. They fired their coach. Like, mentally, they're probably in shambles. LSU got the offense. Plus, we need Texas A&M to bomb the hell out of this game so Cam can be like, no, absolutely not. I'm done with you guys. They got better barbecue chicken in Auburn. That's where I'm going. They need to show him some Yale practice tapes. You sure you want to go here?
Are you sure this is what you want to be
part of this? This is a weird shit.
I keep thinking that Yale practice thing and then the eagle flying around a full stadium. Like, why do you even come out in those uniforms and do that in front of a crowd? Yeah, like, just don't do that. Don't do that, man. Y'all just start the game. You don't even have no traditions if you're gonna have that one. Y'all making yourself look worse than if you had no traditions. That's awful.
LSU wins this one and they cover.
I think LSU wins it. I wouldn't be surprised if Texas A&M fights, but I do think there's get back year over year, a matchup that you lost embarrassingly the year before. I think they have this one circled, and that everybody on that offense is definitely playing better than they were last year at this time.
This was an ugly loss last year.
It was, but that defense is so bad. It's really bad. But I'm gonna say LSU for the same reasons. I think the offense is focused, and they're going to make it happen. A&M's defense just has to mess up a little bit. Their offense has to mess up just a little bit for LSU to get the breathing room they need to secure the victory. And A&M's defense their offense hasn't been that good to where I can say guarantee they're not going to mess up. Nah, they'll leave some room in there for LSU to get up a possession or two, and that'll be the game. So I'm seeing LSU as well.
Yeah, Ike, you already said LSU, right?
Yeah.
Vandy
at Tennessee. Let's be quick on this one.
Tennessee. Vandy's terrible. 27 point spread for an SEC game. Yikes.
Let's go here. Georgia on the road against Georgia Tech.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't see it.
I think. Oddly enough, I normally don't care about spreads, but I think that Georgia Tech might cover in this game. Though.
Yeah, I was going to say I agree with you. I agree with you 100% on that. I think there's a chance Georgia Tech covers.
There's a chance Georgia Tech covers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia's going to win.
The leg humpers. The humper of legs.
This is an intriguing one here. FSU at Florida.
It only is intriguing because starting
no Jordan Travis.
For both teams.
Wait, did Graham Mertz go down?
Yes.
That's the only reason this game is intriguing.
Yes.
Because the starting quarterback.
Who was the quarterback behind Graham Mertz?
Nobody.
Exactly.
Jack Miller, probably.
Brian Wilson.
Hold up. I know, right? If Graham Mertz was playing, this would be where I pick the upset.
Absolutely. It's the perfect setup.
And they lose their quarterback before they play this. They could have ruined FSU's season.
That is why they're cursed. That is
Florida
that is
has
why they're
had-
cursed.
Yeah,
They have
this
had
is
a
tough.
awful
This
year.
is tough. I'm still going with FSU on this one.
Yep.
But not with a ton of confidence.
I think FSU wins out and they make it to the playoff undefeated. I think
Yeah, and then
they
they're gonna get
beat
curb
Louisville as
stomped in the
well.
playoffs because they don't have
They
their
will.
starting QB.
They will.
It's
They absolutely
unfortunate,
will.
yeah. And they should not factor them missing their quarterback into whether they make it or not.
No, they shouldn't.
They
They
should
might.
not.
And if they do, then that's how the Pac's going to slide in and make get a team in there.
Well, that's why. See, they've got to prove that they're.
Well, I
They
mean,
can
so
beat Louisville.
what's called
Wait,
still
no, the
has
Pac-
to,
no, the-
the Pac will
think
get
the
somebody
Pac-
in anyway
I think
because
they're gonna get somebody
Ohio
in
State
anyway.
and Michigan still have to play each other. So
Correct.
that's going to eliminate. That's going to be a
Right.
quasi play-in game
Right.
right there. The Pac will slide
Alabama
somebody
beating
in.
Georgia will really funk up this.
Oh my!
This
I can't
Yes.
tell you how many. That same group chat that was
That's
real
where the
quiet.
chaos is.
They done been texting me. All right, man. Listen, so we definitely gonna beat Georgia, and since Texas, they ain't even that good.
They're
They might lose.
definitely going to beat Georgia.
yeah,
I'm just carrying the word forth to the public.
yeah. I'm telling you,
They're hyping
there's a lot
themselves.
of
It's
them.
not
They
that
are
they
hyping
haven't been
themselves
playing
right
better,
now.
but they are smelling themselves. They smelling the Kool-Aid, and they and already. You know how Bama fans do every
Listen,
season since
they have a
2014.
chance in that game, but to say they're definitely beating
Yeah,
Georgia,
yeah. That's
Yeah.
That's not hyperbole. Like I have heard that repeatedly. They're literally like, oh yeah, we forgot we invented football, so
Right.
we'll win because we'll will it. And I'm like, yeah.
J-Dog asked, do you think Florida will fire Napier?
So I was thinking this. Okay, if they just have a all heart, no matter what, all out game, and they lose by like 3 or 4, right? Then he's been secured because you got a backup quarterback and you're playing the best team on your schedule. Okay, well, not Georgia's best team on the schedule, but what if they get just curb stomped? We talking about like 4 touchdowns at home against a team without their starting quarterback. Does Billy make it? I mean, outside of this year,
I think that Billy's good for one more year. But what is hurting Billy more than the product on the field is the recruits jumping ship on that class.
yeah,
That's really the bigger issue, because I think that's what was making people shut up was Florida's got this top whatever class that they're pulling in, and he's got to finish that class. Early signing day might be what kills Billy.
Slow death.
we didn't already took one of his
into your
gems.
3.
Somebody else pilfered another Florida player in the last
Right?
couple of weeks.
They lost 2 in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So again, he
I think
needs
someone
to.
went to didn't Georgia?
Yes,
Yeah,
Georgia,
Georgia
just
flipped
snatched one.
somebody.
So they gotta finish. They gotta keep that class intact. So yeah, I think that's going to be the bigger thing for him, whether he makes it through this offseason, is that class.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I don't know if FSU is out the woods in the ACC.
Louisville will be a good test for them. That's why I think they'll beat them. But
I think they
Louisville with a backup quarterback.
Let's
I think
see.
that
Let's
gets
see
them
how
into the playoffs.
we need to see how FSU looks without their starting QB this weekend.
But
Before
is
I
this
say
Florida team going to be a good test for that in their current state?
we'll just see how they look against Florida. We'll see how they look against, because to me, if you don't miss a beat, I'll probably be there with you.
If you don't miss a beat offensively, defensively, they shouldn't have it. There's no reason Florida
Right.
should be able to move the ball, because they're going to be essentially a running team this entire game. So
Right.
if you get pushed around in the trenches, then yeah, you might as well go and hang that up, bro. Because
Right.
none of their backups can throw the ball. I haven't seen it. So unless they got some guy I haven't seen that could throw the football, then I don't know.
The guy who was their backup last season, he came in for a hurt Jordan Travis in one game. He actually threw well, but I don't
I'm talking
remember.
about Florida's backup quarterback.
Oh,
None
Florida's,
of them
yeah,
can throw
I
the ball.
don't know.
Florida State has a decent backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Florida's backup quarterbacks, I don't think any of them could throw the football.
It's rough.
Mm-hmm.
CM Pat says, Mike, your scores have been on point, but your record is on Vandy level.
My Auburn scores. Yeah, I don't know, man. This season is weird.
It is weird.
This has been a weird season.
Has been weird. Has been very weird. Yep.
Yeah, it's about FSU. Yeah, picking FSU.
Yeah, I'm picking.
So everyone's picking FSU.
Yeah, I'm picking FSU. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no reason to pick Florida. I'm gonna pick FSU just cause. But we'll definitely see, guys. We want to hear from you, your thoughts. Of course,
So we
you
all
have.
picked the same folks again this week. That means the score's gonna remain the same. All right.
I mean, we would do
Championship week should be interesting.
There was not a lot of
yeah, it's like you want to just
opportunity. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to go on a
expand
big limb this week. Yeah,
y'all's lead by picking different. That's the
Yeah.
only.
Yeah, right. I don't know.
Yeah, you could take a flyer on
Ooh.
Yeah, no.
Nobody- no.
Give me a name. Give me
If
a
Graham
team,
Mertz
please.
was playing, I would have
Yeah.
given taken a flyer on Florida, but nah.
If we were picking Auburn games, I might have taken a flyer on Auburn.
We shall see. But with that, don't count in the pick, so you know.
Yeah, that's all. That's what I meant. Picking them. I'd take a flyer on them.
Y'all still would have been behind even we was picking Auburn games, so it's all right.
That's what you think.
Nah, that's what I know.
You never pick against Auburn.
If it mattered, then I would have, but it don't matter. So I like to win just like the team should. It's all good.
I want to win. I don't want to have to pick it. I want to win, and I don't want to pick against Auburn. See, this
There
is
you
what
go.
we gonna do.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Tell you the truth. All right, y'all. You're watching first half of the Midweek Rapport. Definitely send us your scores of what you think is going to happen this weekend elsewhere. Please be sure to share this video, smash that like button, and subscribe to those who are new to the channel. Let's pause, pay some bills, and come back to discuss the Iron Bowl.
This edition of the War Report is brought to you by our generous sponsors. AuburnSports.com. For news and notes on all things Auburn Sports, head over to AuburnSports.com. When you work out, grill out, and chill out, you deserve the best life possible, and Golden's Cast Iron is here to provide the tools to help you do it. Check them out at goldenscastiron.com. And our giveaway sponsor, War Eagle Oil. For all of your motor oil and related products, head over to wareagleoil.com. Thanks to all the sponsors of the War Report. Thanks to those of you who are our quasi-sponsors continuing to be members of the War Report. A lot of great content continuing to come out for you guys here as we transition from football to basketball season. We will still be having great member content for you. Make sure that you get your membership active. And we still got, film review coming after the Iron Bowl, film review after the bowl game. That stuff is still going to be happening. So you got to be a member to be a part of that. Membership gifting is a thing that you could do right now in the live chat if you'd like to, and someone can get a free month of membership on you. We appreciate those of you who continue to do that. It's the holiday season. Go ahead and give somebody the best gift that they could get. War Report membership, right? Like that's just the best one that's available to you. Hashtag get your weight up right now in the live chat to enter into this drawing. We'll give away a War Report mug courtesy of War Eagle Oil. So make sure you get your spelling correct on that. And make sure that you guys continue to support the sponsors of the War Report, and that includes our good folks over at Lynch Toyota. Lynch Toyota of Auburn is the area's premier Toyota dealership, serving the Auburn area for over 20 years. 4 years of free maintenance on all new Toyotas from Lynch Toyota of Auburn. All Toyota certified pre-owned vehicles come with lifetime battery and brake replacements, as well as a 100,000-mile warranty. Just take a look at all of the 5-star reviews. The customers who shop at Lynch Toyota are loyal and keep coming back to buy, sell, trade, or service your vehicle. Make sure you shop Lynch Toyota of Auburn for the best customer experience. Get started now at lynchtoyotaofauburn.com. All Toyotas are created equal. Lynch Toyota makes the difference.
All right, y'all. Before we get into it, let's grab some comments and supers. Ephesians 2 verses 8-9 says, y'all looking deflated, fellas. Don't care how bad it's been to this point. It's time to bug and hate on that team from up north.
I'm good.
I'm
bro.
always
my book
always
never goes
hate
out,
on
bro.
Bama.
We could get curb stomped by anybody, and I'm gonna come
always
back there
hate on
next
Bama.
week and be fine. I'm good.
And
Trust me.
There's a certain amount of delusion you have being a fan, and I'm not gonna lie to you. The delusion was wiped away last weekend, just a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Delusion now, huh?
I refresh my car every Sunday, boys. We good.
Realistically, there are still football reasons why this will be a competitive game, why we can be in this game until the very end. But the delusion that I would have been telling myself, man, I can see this. We're gonna pick off Millwall right here. We're gonna be up 21-13 in the fourth quarter. That was gone. So now I'm down to dogfight. All right, X's and O's, and something has to go our way. It happened a little bit. It happened. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know it's happened to a lot of people. I ain't for the call for the firing and no coaching and stupid like that. But yeah, the delusion, the ignorance has been taken from me. And I hate that.
Nah, mine ain't ignorance. Mine's just I'm good. Let's keep going. What's up?
It's all ad hominems from here on out. I'm calling Bama fans all types of names. All of that. I'm hating everything. I'm just hating for no reason. Just hating on Bama. Because that's all that's in my heart right now. So, Marion Thomas, I think I missed his comment there. He says, I think I removed it by accident, but he basically said, we must beat Bama this week. Auburn football owes us to atone for the L. I must say it has to be some motivation for this team, though, going into the Iron Bowl. Obviously, we're going to see better effort. You have to imagine that we will see better effort this week compared to, I mean, if they're anything like the head coach, Hugh Freeze kept saying in the media when he met with media, he's still upset about what happened last Saturday. You have to believe that the players have that type of sentiment too, right, guys?
Right.
Yeah.
So we will definitely see. Dwayne says, watching the film with Ike, I saw several wide open receivers that should have been touchdowns. Super scared. He does more of the same, but pray he has the best game of his life. War Eagle. Eagle wide.
Yeah, listen, it is what it is. There were opportunities there. We just need to take advantage of those opportunities in this game if they present themselves again, and go out here and make some plays and make some people pucker a little bit over in that portion of the state.
Yeah.
Agreed. Jay Conwell, appreciate the support and super chat. I missed your comment. I don't know if you guys saw it, but
I didn't.
Comment it again if you meant to say something to us. Let's get to the actual matchup head to head. Pull up the graphic here. The meeting 2:30 CBS game. The line
the final CBS game of the SEC.
Well, it'll be the SEC championship game next week.
Yeah, regular season is and the one that actually matters. Who cares about
definitely the last Iron Bowl?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't really care about that other game. So this is the final game. This is the only one that matters.
Obviously, Bama is favored. You see the over and under there. Series record, them. Last meeting, them. What we gonna see to this time, fellas? How we feeling? Ike, how you feeling about this? What you think, man?
Listen, I've been talking all week on the morning drop about ways that Auburn could win this game. Those ways aren't changing today. It's going to come down to the ability of this Auburn front to be able to, well, not necessarily the front. So let's start with the Auburn offense and talk about just, hey, man, we need to figure out how to get Peyton Thorne settled back there, because if he's feeling the heat, he hasn't been good under pressure so far this season. And, I don't have a bunch of statistics in front of me talking about what his pressure, that's Mike G's thing. He likes to talk about, throws under pressure, all that sort of thing. What I will say is the eye test for me is he needs to figure out how to just go out there and let the football go. Stop holding on to the ball. Throw it to guys when they're open. Throw it some anticipation. Trust that guys are going to be there. He needs to figure that out this week. And then defensively, we got to get pressure on their quarterback and make him uncomfortable, make him revert back to some of that stuff that he was doing earlier in the season, where he's throwing, he threw a pick last week. We need to go out there and let our defense be the defense we've seen them be all season, getting turnovers, taking advantage of the mistakes the other team's making. And we got a shot to win the football game, man. Listen, I'm not going to sit here. This ain't going to be the week where I'm like, Auburn doesn't have. Yes, we do. We do have a chance to win this game. and it's at the crib. So
He's actually pretty. Making sure I'm not looking at this wrong, but he's actually pretty decent in terms of pass pressure.
who is?
Thorne.
Yeah, it's because he doesn't throw the ball.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, when he throws the ball, he's fine. But the problem is he holds on to the ball too much.
However, yeah, his from a completion standpoint, let's see how many. I'm looking at the. Oh yeah, that's ugly. That's ugly. When he's under pressure, he's been sacked a total of 24 times on the season. Yeah, that's pretty bad. So you're right.
Yeah. If he actually was able to throw the football in those scenarios, and guys have been open, he runs himself into quite a few sacks, and that's the essential problem. Or he takes off running when he doesn't have to sometimes. So
yeah. Well, let's talk about it. Let's kind of pull up some of the comparison charts. We can start with the Auburn offense, because we're already talking about it. I will bring that up. Here we go. So we got the Auburn offense versus the Bama defense. Auburn is averaging 25 points a game. Alabama is holding teams to 17.4 points per game, which has them tied, or not tied, but have them ranked 14th nationally, second in the SEC. Scoring defense. We've seen what Auburn has done even at home when we were playing SEC teams that can play good defense. It's been tough for us to even break the 20-point marker. Obviously, Auburn has to do that in this game to even make it a game. How good we feel about Auburn getting, or what's the over on terms of Auburn getting 17? What do we think? How we feel about this game? Does coming off the performance we had a week ago where we didn't get 17 points, does Auburn figure out how to do that against Bama?
I'm going to choose to believe that the trend for this team at home is not what we saw last week. I'm going to choose to believe that. If we have been so adamant about the road trend that we saw, like, I don't know, we need to see it on the road. We need to see it on the road. I'm going to choose to believe that New Mexico State was an anomaly versus all of the other games that we've played at home, and say, yes, we can get to 17 plus in this game. Because that's only fair, right? Like, if we're just if we're gonna say, man, we haven't played well on the road offensively, it's on yeah, let me see it on the road. Let me see it on the road. Then I have to believe that one game, because we weren't willing to say when they went on the road versus Vandy that one game eliminated the trend that we had seen on the road. So I can't say that one game versus New Mexico State eliminates the trend that we've had on the road. I'll stick to my guns and say, yeah, we can score more than 17 in this game.
B, how you feeling, man?
I'm terrified, too. I'm terrified. I've seen Bama get played very well by almost everybody they lined up against for most of the season. And then in the second half, after the Texas game, they lost to Texas. They did put up a little bit of a fight, but Texas was like, nah, we got it. And they had the quarterbacks, the wide receivers to do what needed to be done to take advantage, and they got the points when they needed them. Outside of the Texas game, that second half, they are dominating. Well, South Florida, but they played, some different quarterbacks then. They have tightened up second halves, and against Kentucky, they were tight the whole game. Like, Kentucky got ran off the field. They're getting better, and that's really why I'm terrified of losing this game badly. I didn't want to see them get better. I wanted to see them be the same team the entire season. I wanted to see that South Florida game team and that Texas team. I wanted to see those two Bama teams the entire year. But what have I found but them making a decision at quarterback, sticking with him, seeing him get better, seeing their OC get more creative, and utilizing his talent better ways each week. That is not what I needed to see. So I got to look at ways. All right, so how do we win this game? Realistically, what's the pattern? What's the shape of an upset for Auburn in this game? It would have to be Hugh Freeze dialing up and cooking up some things to take advantage of, their expected coverages, some things he hasn't used this season so far. If we've used it, then, they got good DCs over there. They know how to take care of business. I believe that our OC and Coach Battery can cook up 28 points in a game like this. The question will be, as it is every week, can the players execute that plan? If you watch the film, you would have seen opportunities. The quarterback can take advantage of it. Or the offensive line can take advantage in some cases. Or the wide receivers can catch a pass in some cases. It's been about execution. That's been our worst. We fared worse in execution than any other facet. It hadn't been game plan. It's the worst game plan ever. Even when the game plan wasn't great, there were opportunities to take advantage of. It may not have been the best game plan for who we had playing, but you watch film and you say, all right, quarterback's got the ball in his hands and he's looking that way. Wide receiver's open, but he didn't throw it. He ran for 4 yards and took a hard hit. Hey, man, what are you doing? Or passes hitting the wide receiver's hands like crazy and they drop them. Execution can't be the issue this game. I said this last week. We thought that was going to be the cleanest game we played all year because we came off of a great win and we were playing what we thought was going to be an overwhelmed New Mexico State. Execution was terrible.
Still waiting on Holden to get in the game, B.
Oh, my. We thought we was going to get some backup snaps for Holden.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That man still over there holding the clipboard. So, how I'm feeling is I understand exactly where we're at. An upset for us looks like the defense playing lights out for at least a half. And we find ourselves in a similar situation to where Tennessee did against Bama. Everybody's making plays, playing hard. You're up 10 points going into the half. And you come out and you've got to have something to hold them down for the second half. Like, that is the best case scenario. If I had to tell you, how's the game going to go for y'all to win? We got to be up 17-7 at half, 20-10 at half. Then we have to hold on. I don't know how we hold on. I've seen their wide receivers somehow get wide open in the secondary every game. I'm like, hey, man, I know y'all are watching film. I don't watch enough Bama games or film to know, hey, is this the same guy getting open? Every time I look at the highlights, it's like, well, Milroe, it's 10 yards wide open, the wide receiver, nobody around him, and Milroe uncorks one for a touchdown. I'm like, what? How? What? Ain't nobody got DCs? All the defenses they played that bad? Kentucky's defense is supposed to be the strength of that team. They got ran off the field in like the first quarter. We got to be up in a low-scoring game. Similar to 2021, but I don't think either offense will be that. I don't think they'll be that tough to come by points in this game. We have got to be up at the half to stand a chance because they've proven time and time again against better teams, maybe not better defenses, but against better teams as far as their record. Second half, they're taking over. Please let us be up at the half, take control of this game, and do something with the running game that allows us to maintain possession. If we needed a reminder of what holding the ball, maintaining possession can do for your team, we just suffered through it last weekend. We didn't get the ball, 5 plays in the first quarter, was it?
Yeah.
That's how you do it. Well, they come back to the second half. Hey, well, listen, we got the ball. Y'all don't worry about it. Y'all just over there and chill. Hold your helmets. We're going to stay on the field. That means it's going to be some third downs. You just got to convert them because we need more plays than we need points if we've got the lead that I'm talking about. That's the formula. That's what it would have to be. I really hope it goes that way. I really hope it goes that way.
Well, listen, we've seen here Auburn rush offense averaging 194 carry or yards per game. Bama is holding teams to under 120 yards at 117. They rank 27th nationally in rush defense, 5th in the SEC, has only allowed one 100-yard rusher this season. Easy guess as to who that was, who achieved that feat. So rush yards are probably going to be very difficult to come by for this team. What do we think Auburn does? And when I was looking at some of the premium stats, Pro Football Focus, what I saw is for teams that are rushing against Bama, they've had a little bit more success running on the edge as opposed to running right at Alabama's defense. I mean, that's been pretty much a staple of a Nick Saban defense. What does that mean for Jarquez Hunter? Because he's typically been that guy who's been attacking the defense. We've seen Peyton Thorne usually running a pulling and running outside option. We've seen Jeremiah Cobb used on the outside. How does Auburn's rush offense attack this Bama defense this weekend, Ike?
I mean, listen, we have the stuff in our playbook that allows us to attack on the edges. As far as Jarquez Hunter is concerned, he just needs to be a guy. He missed, I think, a couple of opportunities. He wasn't the same patient runner he had been the last few weeks. I think he was running a little anxious, particularly because he wasn't getting the opportunities as often. So when he got the ball, he wasn't being as patient as he had been. If he stays patient, he'll find the ability to get out there and get to the edges with, bouncing the ball outside or anything like that. And I think that's where that success for him is going to be. It's not going to be the first cut. It might be the second one. And he needs to use his athleticism to make it happen. And hopefully that will be the case for him. But having said that, and I talked about this a little bit in our film review, we didn't see a single speed sweep to Jeremiah Cobb or anything like that. We need to figure out how to get those guys who specialize in getting those, speed sweeps, whether that's Betsy out in the flat. We need to work the perimeter of that defense in order for us to be able to be a good team versus Alabama. That the blocking that needs to happen on the edges where you're talking about tight ends and wide receivers, this needs to be their best game doing it. It needs to be their best game getting those blocks secured on the edges. And that's how you're going to be able to generate offense. And then Jarquez Hunter can be more successful because they have to play it more honest out there. They can't just crash, a cornerback to blitz off of the edge. They can't just bring a safety down in there because that's going to be the edge defender. That additional linebacker in the box needs to be more disciplined instead of crashing down, right? So you've got to attack them. If you're not going to go vertical, which, listen, our offensive line has not been giving enough time for folks to go vertical, considering how much blitzing there's happening. That means that you have to attack them horizontally with the quick passing game and with the speed sweep stuff.
And that leads me to the pass game here. And B. Will, you can chime in as well. We saw what New Mexico State did in terms of their game plan for pretty much daring Auburn to throw. I missed to watch the film, Ike. You can kind of reiterate that for those who were unable to see it. I would imagine, that's pretty much what teams will try to dare Auburn to do, is pretty much what New Mexico State dared them to do. And we couldn't do it enough. There were some seam routes that were open throughout the game that we either just didn't see or we attempted, got one. That was a touchdown pass that we threw. Others we've missed. I'm pretty sure other teams may do something I would imagine Bama would probably do something similar in an effort to stifle the run. Who knows? But what say you, right?
Yeah, I think that's if they want to win the football game, they'll do that. If they want to take the Georgia route and be stubborn and say we'll just make our front seven beat you, then they're going to have a tough time. I firmly believe that Auburn will be able to get a few things going if Bama wants to say we're just going to play it straight up and we've got the athletes. We're going to surprise them a little bit, but if they decide that they're going to do the blitzing stuff, then Auburn's going to have to figure out how to get the ball out quickly and outflank them in a couple of scenarios.
B. Will, your thoughts, man?
We can find room to rush the ball. I think we can find room to rush the ball on these guys. I wonder what the plan of attack is going to be, though. We know that if you look at us on tape, you're going to say, all right, so their quarterback can't handle pressure. Let's get after him, get to him. He'll start holding the ball, thinking too much. He'll run for 2 or 3 yards. We'll get him down. They'll be punting, and we'll win the game. I know we have some really smart, talented coaches on the staff. I got to think that they have something to counteract that plan of attack. But I think it all is going to be told in the first couple of drives, honestly. The first couple of drives, when we have come out and the scripted drives go well, we're good for the whole game. Whole game. It never really slows down. I mean, every drive we're not scoring, but when we want to get back to the past, we've had opportunities to get back to it. If what we plan initially does not work, it seems like the pass becomes less of an option. I don't know if the coaches call run more, but it doesn't matter because we're not actually going to be able to connect in the passing game if we don't get it going early. So I expect the coaches to make Peyton Thorne throw that ball early. Again, I do have confidence that they're good coaches, that we have good coaches, especially when it comes to offense. I am just praying that whatever they got scripted works. Successful first down, successful first 2 drives, and at least make this interesting. Because then everything will be open. It's so I don't know how much in NFL anybody watches. I just like football a lot. It's really weird when you watch a game, and the types of games that I watch in the NFL, they have like these scripts that they tend to follow. If teams come out scoring, they usually keep scoring the whole game. If teams come out and it's like, all right, it's 7-3 at the half, like they're not gonna come out at the half and it's gonna be like a 34-30 game. It's just not. Like they're onto each other. They know what the other team wants to do. And it's not like, oh, well, we just move this one piece and everything will open up. No. The way you call a game when what you thought was going to work didn't work, the play call is tightened up. They're like, oh, they're onto us right there. All right, so we gotta dial it back a little bit. Let's see what we can do here. If you ever watch Zach Wilson try to play quarterback on offense for the Jets, that
ain't gonna watch it no more.
The OCs don't trust you. You don't trust what you see, and the defense is good enough to know that. So anything that an OC wants to do, well, what's something safe I can call for this quarterback that he won't mess up? You think the defense doesn't know that you don't trust his quarterback? We could tell by these little weak screen passes you calling. You don't trust him? You don't trust him, obviously. So we going to come play everything short. We're just going to cheat up because you ain't finna throw downfield because the minute you feel a little pressure, you're going to fall. Game over. You can't call plays like that and expect to win the game like this. You can't. So you have to open it up. And this is something that, well, we've talked about this before. I don't see the advantage of tightening up your play calling. Because if you're scared to take those shots, then you're definitely going to lose because the defense doesn't think you're going to take them anyway. So they're expecting you to do exactly what you want to do, which is play safe. Which is also why I don't know why you keep a quarterback in if he's spooked. If he's too scared to hit the open man on the play, because it takes some anticipation, and yeah, there's some traffic down there. I mean, not like double, triple coverage, but I don't know. He hadn't separated enough. Man, if you don't throw that ball, because you're not throwing the ball, we're losing. You're not throwing to wide open wide receivers or wide receivers who will be open in a second, we're losing. And if you are too scared to pull the trigger, again, told y'all plenty, B. Will says, get him out of there. Put somebody else in. Don't stay with a quarterback who is scared to make the correct play or is too antsy to make the correct play. It hasn't worked in our favor. Not one time have we said, well, we'll just play this safe, and it worked. It doesn't work. If you're not good enough to go out there and play the game that you know will take advantage of their defense, you're cooked. So you can lose like that, boring and slow with 3 or 4 possessions to end the game at the end of a game, and you do nothing on offense, which is pretty much what we did last week. Or make it spicy. Hey, throw a couple of picks. You finna be the scapegoat for this anyway. Why not? Push it downfield, man. We're gonna have opportunities. I'm getting back around to. I'm sorry. We're gonna have opportunities here because I think our coaches have cooked up opportunities the entire season. Execution has been where we're failed. You come out, you throw early, you make the room for the run game to be successful. And honestly, it seems like the wide receivers stay engaged if you get them engaged early. If the wide receivers start off making those catches, they're going to stay alive for this game. They're going to be lively the whole time. Maybe they even do a little more blocking, a little more quality blocking, let's say. because they're engaged, man. And same thing for Peyton Thorne. If he feels like, oh, they catching the ball, okay, well, I'll make that throw now because I think they're gonna catch it. They just got to get it going early. The room will be there for the run game. We know that's the best part of our offense. But the thing that's going to unlock it, if we got 8 guys in the box, if New Mexico State can stack the box and stop us from running, you know damn well the Bama can stack the box and keep us from running. Like they don't even have to put a bunch of guys back there. They've got the best cover guys that we've probably seen all season. So it's not like they would even be hurt by putting 7 in. Like, no, 7, cool. 7 can do it. And if not 8, because y'all can't throw the ball. We've got to open it up. We got to find room for these wide receivers. Make room for everything else. Because if y'all only going to keep 6 in that box, we're running on you. 7 on that box, we're probably still running on you. Maybe. Because we might be that good running. 8, we ain't got no prayer. Got to open it up early.
Appreciate that, B. Listen, we're at a good point right now. Let's get to the drawing, y'all. Let's get to the drawing. We are giving away a mug courtesy of War Eagle Oil. Hashtag get your weight up to enter to win. Ike is ready to draw. Take it away, sir.
All right. Somebody's got to win this mug courtesy again of War Eagle Oil. Today's winner for the drawing didn't have a lot of entries today, Ronnie Stinson. Ronnie, if you're in here, say what's up and we can get that mug to you. While we're waiting on Ronnie, we'll just go ahead and give a quick shout out to the other sponsor of today, and that is Manscaped. Manscaped's been holding us down, and we appreciate this. Every man knows how scary it is. It can get when going for a close below the waist shave. That's why we trust Manscaped for all my sensitive areas. I'm lucky to be one of the first to try the new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. And to say it's a game changer is an understatement. This is true. I have the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, and it is amazing. This bad boy also features LED spotlights to provide contrast for multiple skin tones so you can shed some light on your darkest places. This right here is on the cutting edge of cutting pubes. Upgrade your ball trimmer and your life will follow. Get 20% off plus free shipping with code Rapport at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping when you use code Rapport at manscaped.com. Your balls have been through enough. It's time to go ultra with Manscaped.
And Ronnie is here. So, Ronnie, here's what we need for you to do. Good, sir. Congratulations, first and foremost. Email us, business at the War Rapport. We need your physical address, and we will send that mug directly to you. Congratulations. Thanks again for supporting. Let us continue, gentlemen. Good sirs. We now move on and talk defensively. We've seen what Auburn has been able to do this year. Again, last week was a head scratcher of sorts. Again, I expect more inspired play this week. Alabama has been running the ball, averaging 176 yards per game, 5th in the SEC. Our rush defense shows up at times and plays pretty well. Did not have a good game last week. What are we expecting this week? Start with you, Ike.
I think the defense is going to be fired up this week. I don't think that they realize they didn't play anywhere close to their best game. And they also realize that in order for Auburn to have a shot, they have to be on point. And so I think we are going to get one of the best defensive performances we've seen thus far from this team. The question that you have to ask yourself is how much help are they going to get from the offense to not have to be on the field every single time, rescuing them over and over again. But I think this defense is going to come out here ready to cause havoc this weekend. They, upon watching the film again, I felt like at the game, it felt like, oh man, the whole second half, the defense just wasn't playing well. That's not actually true. The defense didn't really start to like get gashed. They had the one long run on that first drive for New Mexico State in the second half. But after that, the defense was salty until the very end of the game where it was like, just the dam broke on them. But when you go back and you watch, they gave up that first drive, and then the rest of the second half, they were solid. It was just kind of a couple of ridiculous plays being made out there. But then you go into the second half again, you give up that one big run, and then the defense starts to like, all right, cool, let's buckle down again. I think we're going to see a good game from the defense. For me, it's going to come down to how well we are disciplined in the run game, because if we're not disciplined in the run game and we're not doing too much where we're trying to like, okay, we got to stop the run, and we're disciplined with our eyes, then the play action stuff that Bama does to get those wide open receivers that you guys talked about isn't going to be there, right? The front seven, particularly our linebackers, need to make sure that they're playing a clean game this time, tackling more soundly. A lot of the stuff that you saw from New Mexico State was just poor tackling on Auburn's part. Sound tackling and good linebacker play should stifle what Bama wants to do offensively. And then, again, when you get them into those 3rd and long scenarios, that pass rush needs to get there. Jalen McLeod, I said that this morning, Jalen McLeod needs to have frequent meetings with Jalen Milroe. It needs to be a Jalen meeting in the backfield, and the McLeod needs to win that meeting. So I am looking forward to seeing that happening.
Corey Dubb asked this question: if we hold Bama under 100 yards rushing, do we win this game?
Yes. If Bama can't get to 100 yards, I think that that's a good sign for Auburn. Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. I agree. It's a good question, though, Corey. Thank you.
Yeah, I like that. And so what it sounds like, the pass game opens up when Bama has success running the ball, whether it be Milroe or McClellan or whoever they got running the ball. Once they're able to have some success there, they're able to pretty much punish teams through the air at that point. Okay. All right. Turnovers.
Yeah, we need to see it come back this week. Bama hasn't put the ball on the ground a lot, so
they have
bubbles is not going to be a thing. But again, I think if the bad thing is that Jalen Milroe has gotten better as this season has progressed. He's gotten more comfortable in what they've asked him to do in this offense. They haven't asked him to do a ton of things, right? They've really condensed what they're asking him to do, but what they have asked him to do, he's done well, and he's been more patient with trying to get the ball out. But he also, a lot of what he does is improvisational, right? Like, it's not necessarily the flow of the offense. It's him being able to extend plays and then guys getting open on that kind of stuff. So that's why I think that the pressure has got to be there and just force him into making some bad decisions or some quick, not necessarily, well, bad, yes, because it'll be a play in our direction, but speed him up a little bit. You have to make him start to feel like that pocket is collapsing too often on him, and he's going to take off running before he needs to, or he's going to try to get rid of the ball before he needs to. Speeding his clock up is going to be very important for Auburn.
You already named Jalen McLeod as kind of a guy you need to have an amazing game. B. Will, who comes to your mind on this Auburn defense who has to have a big game?
Marcus Harris. He has been our best run stopper on the D line. He needs to beat his man, get into the backfield, and make it difficult for their running game to get going. Tackles for loss absolutely wins you this game because that's what they need. They need the run game to work. If you're going to be in the backfield, the run game's not going to work. And they're not just going to start pitching it all around, because if one of our front four can be that disruptive, we don't have to send a lot of dudes. I don't have to send a run blitz if you're just going to beat your man. Just beat your man. Get in the backfield. Run game doesn't get started. It's not they can't, like they just won't score any points, but you make it very difficult for, like Ike said, the run game is what makes it possible for those wide open highlight plays that we see with the wide receivers just completely uncovered downfield and all those busts. Get into that backfield. Make it interesting. Marcus Harris has been our best guy to do that, especially on the defensive line. I hope he has a monster game because he's showed up really best in our best games. Georgia, Texas A&M against their offensive line. There was another game where he went absolutely crazy. I can't remember what it is right now, but LSU as well. He played pretty well at LSU, all things considered. But yeah, Marcus Harris. That's who I want to see show out. Plus, it's stock time for him. It's draft stock time. He's going. And this is going to be the best team he's played this year. And this is going to be his all attention's here because this is essentially a quarterfinal. Well, no, what's before a quarterfinal? Whatever's before the quarterfinals, probably a round of whatever the total number is, because Bama has to win this game to still be in college playoff contention like they think they are. But they're going to go to the SEC championship game regardless. But if they lose this game, there are a lot of other teams out there hoping and wishing and praying that Bama can stay out of the picture. 2 losses. Florida State's going to be hoping that they can hold up their end of the bargain, because a 12-1 Florida State losing the ACC championship game, you don't want to have that 1 loss, and Bama's only got 1 loss, and Georgia only has 1 loss because they did lose to Bama in the SEC championship game. This game matters. Everybody's going to be watching it. It's not just a foregone conclusion. It has significance in the national picture. So show up. I think he will. I hope everybody else does too.
I can't pick one player. I'm just going to pick the linebacker, the second level. The linebackers have to have a good game. From Austin Keys to Eugene Asante to Nixon, like those guys need to have a good game. Those guys can't be out of position. Those guys have to be very good in run defense this weekend.
This is going to be the Cam Riley game.
Okay.
Cam Riley game. He is going to either do something amazing and come up with some big plays, or I think they're going to rely on him pretty heavily this game to be a guy that's going to go out there and blitz. And he has been solid in the run game, not great, but solid in the run game. And the only reason I say not great is because I have to take New Mexico State into account for that. But prior to the New Mexico State game, he had started playing better versus the run. This is going to be the Cam Riley game for Auburn. If he plays well, I think Auburn's going to do well defensively. But again, I have all season, and it's not gotten better, don't think that the offensive tackles for Alabama are great at handling speed rushers. So if we get an opportunity to figure out how to get Jalen McLeod isolated on one of those tackles, he's going to be able to handle business against those guys, just because I don't think that they handle speed well. They're big guys, and they can push people around, but they don't handle speed well. And so I think that that's going to be a big focal point, is figuring out how to get the rushers off of the edge to be sudden, right? Get into the pocket quickly, but not overrun the play where he can escape.
That's the part that scares me, Ike.
Yeah.
Right. When you're coming after, this is a guy who can just make you pay if he gets past those guys rushing, because there's going to be no one there. So that's something I'm going to be keeping an eye on. How disciplined do we look when we do rush the QB? For sure. Secondary. Bit of a redemption game here. What do we think? I mean, obviously, to Ike's point, I think the strength of this team is their ability to run the football.
Mm-hmm.
What do we expect out of our secondary in this game?
Well, unfortunately, I think they're going to have to send the secondary players to create and maintain pressure over the course of the game. And we're going to be vulnerable if we do that. But if we mix up looks quite a bit, do some things that we haven't done yet this season, we got a chance to surprise them, keep them in check, get a couple INTs. I don't want to see that highlight play that I've seen from them. At the very least, make them make some tough catches. If they're going to catch some long passes on us, okay, all right. Well, yeah, listen, they were falling out of bounds, toes in bounds, and caught it with his hands right before he fell and hit. Like, make some tough catches. DJ James has been playing his way back into the form I think we thought we would see him in all season, and his coverage has been sticky. Good. Love to see that. Keontae Scott's still been a baller back there, all over the field, really. Tackling when he's playing the run game, pressuring the quarterback. I expect the experience of the secondary is what gives us a chance to stifle them at all. Because in the absence of true pass rushers that on both sides, you at least have the opportunity to generate pressure with an extra man, and it doesn't have to be a linebacker. However, we can't get caught sleeping. I laughed at Tommy Reese the beginning of the season. I ain't laughing no more. He's doing some different stuff. I saw some speed sweep stuff from them that I didn't see, but it was like week 9 or something. I'm like, y'all just broke that out.
One of the things that I did hear when they talked about, I think I forget what game it was, but once they went with Milroe, they basically tweaked that offense around him, which meant it looked far different than what we saw earlier in the year when they had their standard offense, but we're still looking for a QB to fit that offense. That offense is tailored to him now. So that's why you're seeing new stuff from Allen.
Yeah.
Question, gentlemen. Ron Roberts, how aggressive is Auburn going to be in this game? Are we sitting in the house? What are we doing? Are we a bit more? Are we what are we going to do defensively? Because we saw us get beat a lot with the pressures we tried to bring last week. What do we do this week?
Yeah, we weren't being very what we did pressure wise last week is, again, that's anomalous. I don't think that we are very imaginative in the way that we were bringing some of those pressures last week. And if we're being honest, those pressures did get home quite a bit. They just didn't go and wrap up and tackle. So again, I think when you think about the game, it feels bad because you're looking at the final score as opposed to like the defense didn't play as poorly as you feel like they did. You just got to go out there and make the tackles that were there in front of you a little bit more often. But to answer the question, do we bring the house often? I don't think so. I think that we're going to 5 is probably going to be the most we'll bring consistently, but we'll probably only rush 4 for the most part. And we're going to figure out how to, bring it in different ways. A lot of that simulated pressure zone blitz stuff that we'll see, the star player coming off the edge or a linebacker coming through a separate gap. Like, we're going to do that sort of stuff, I think, more often than we're going to send additional people. Yeah, I don't, because I think with Jalen Milroe, you have to make him think a little bit more. And with that means you have to be a little bit deceptive in what you're showing pre and post snap. So you'll show something pre snap, but you'll go into something else post snap, and you'll bring a guy from the second level, but then you'll drop somebody back out from the first level and that he didn't see coming, that kind of thing.
Yep.
How many points does Auburn? We see Alabama's average points per game, what Auburn is averaging. We already said what Auburn needs to score, or what we feel Auburn may need to do in order to score 17 or over 17. What we need to hold Bama to in order to really have a shot in this game?
It needs to be under less than 21 points. 20 is the absolute most they can score when we win this game. The absolute most.
So you talking about a serious defensive struggle.
Yes.
Basically a repeat of the Arkansas game.
We would have to make them look like that, which I mean, I don't know if
I'm talking about defensively a repeat of the Arkansas game.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because it was 23-20, I think was the score of the Arkansas Bama game. So Bama needs to score
Arkansas
20.
Bama game. I got you.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not talking about what we did to Arkansas.
Yeah, I was 24-21.
24-21. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It needs to look like that. No, 24 and they can't score 24 points. Now on our offense, not with our offense get on the field, not with what they've been for the majority of the season. We need to keep that score, I think, low. Really, I want to say less than 20 points, honestly. Less than 20 points.
I mean, so their lowest total points, we're going to take South Florida out of there because we realize that's anomalous based upon kind of how they've changed things around. But they scored 24 versus Ole Miss, 26 versus Texas A&M, and 24 versus Arkansas. So that's the kind of game we need to get into. It's one of those 3 types of situations. I think I'm not going to go as low as 20. I was going to say you got to keep them sub 27 really to have a prayer. But 27, I think, is the number. Not to say that we are going to score more than 27, but I think to give yourself a chance in the fourth quarter, that's around where it needs to be. I think through 3 quarters, it needs to be sub 20. Yes.
Okay.
And so that you give yourself a chance in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
I agree with that. I don't know how you shut them out in the fourth. So yes, having them under 20 going into the fourth, most definitely for sure. But yes, Alabama can't score. They definitely can't score over 30. They may have to no more. Yeah, they have to be sub 27. If they get over 24, I don't like our chances in this game. I don't like their chances in this game at all. We will definitely see for sure. But good thoughts. I didn't know if you guys had any more thoughts on this game. Any more thoughts regarding Auburn going into the Iron Bowl? Anything else, gentlemen?
Well, I have
my own. Go ahead, B. Will, and I'll get my.
I have been ruminating on this game and this season because we said before the last game. I wonder if Hugh Freeze does this thing that I'm pretty sure Gus did, which is start planning and practicing for the Iron Bowl the week ahead of time. I mean, listen, they're never gonna say, well, we weren't practicing for New Mexico State this week. Nobody's gonna say that, even if that was the case. And Iron Bowl preparation, in my mind, is a fairly good reason to not give 100% to the current opponent. But when the result is what it was, it really doesn't matter why that was that result against that opponent. Every year we get to this point, and I start thinking up ways when we appear to be overmatched based on the team's respective records. Man, but if we did this, we could win. Man, I don't know. See, all you gotta do is this. And honestly, it more or less plays out how we expect. And that's partly because you have a really good idea who your team is after 11 weeks, after 11 games. You know exactly who you are. I can't say that we've ever played outside of ourselves for these games. Like rarely, very rarely do we. Like even in 2019, where our offense was bad, we engineered a lot of points and the defense got 14. If we don't get pick sixes, we lose that game. So it's not that we played outside of ourselves. Their quarterback just made some critical mistakes, and we were able to take advantage.
2021 was pretty outside ourselves. That defense had not looked that good, and then somehow they sacked that man like 500 times in that game.
I agree with that. Our pass rush
still as pedestrian as we had been the entire time, but defensively they was on some other
defensively stuff. They play outside of themselves in 2021. I agree with that. But for the most part, we kind of played our averages. Both teams do. So if I'm taking that into this game, I'm looking at it and I go, I wonder if the effect of the New Mexico State game is not only that people are looking to right the wrongs of the poor effort from that game, but does that get the coaching staff focused? Does that get Hugh Freeze like, I need to redeem myself? I mean, I don't know what that looks like for a coach. I know for players, they'll come and talk about it after. We knew we could play better than that. We were just eager to wipe away that last week's effort and show what we could do and how good we could be when we were playing focused, and determining stuff, football player stuff, right? But they're not lying. How much under the bar did they play, and how much over the bar can they play to compensate for last week? That's the thing I keep thinking. Is there a game better than Arkansas game in this team? Like that's the question. Like we saw the effort in Arkansas. That was game plan working. That was execution was on point. Effort was there. All of that was there at the same time. Got up, never looked back. Huge win. Is there another level to go to past that? That means the game plan would have to be immaculate. And they have to work early. Get everybody engaged and get everybody going, and you'd have to stick with it. And everybody could stay engaged for an Iron Bowl. That's the one thing. It's easier to bring effort for an Iron Bowl because it's Iron Bowl. I have to tell you what it means. You've been looking at these guys all year on TV. You've been seeing their names and their highlights, and you see them on the college football playoff ranking thing. You're like, man, I can't wait to play these. Beat them out, kick them off the field. However, seeing last week now, though, I look at it's got to be a gift and a curse. The gift is you get a chance to right that wrong. The curse is the numbers and what we think we are at this point in the year, it's usually correct. And if Hugh Freeze could pull us, get us, if this offense could score 24 points or better on what would be, I think, I haven't looked at the comparisons between Georgia and Bama yet, but this might be the best defense that we've played. I don't know if I know Georgia's offense is better, but this might be the defense we played all year. Get 24 points against the best defense we played all year and have your defense come up with some critical stops and turnovers to keep their score as low as I expected, which is under 20. Man, that'll be a beautiful story. I think I want that for the players more than anything. Hugh Freeze is going to be here for more years. He's going to get more opportunities to recruit better players like he's talked about and and win some big games once he's got his recruits. But these players' stories, a lot of them, their stories for Auburn end this weekend. And I really hope that they get an opportunity to show better for themselves and change the narrative for themselves in this season with the win.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, listen, I expect to see a fired up football team. I hope their emotions don't get too far out of control in this game, but defensively, I just think that they're going to bring it in this game, and they're going to make Bama have to earn it. The offense just needs. The offense has been available in every, like there have been things available in every single game that Auburn has lost this season. Wide open receivers, open running lanes. We have hurt ourselves more than other teams have hurt us consistently this year. Go back and watch the film on the games that we lost, and you will see Auburn beating themselves more than other teams. Now, New Mexico State probably is the only team that, which is crazy for me to say, is the only team that really beat Auburn because they made plays. We beat ourselves in just about every other game this season.
Yeah.
We missed opportunities, and we allowed teams to well, nope, LSU beat us. LSU beat us. Rewind. LSU beat the brakes off of us. But in every other game, Auburn beat themselves more than anything else. It was silly stuff. It was penalties at the wrong time. It was turnovers that were inexplicable. It wasn't Auburn just not having the talent. Everybody keeps talking about this talent. Talent has not been the reason that Auburn has lost most of these games that we've lost this season. Auburn's beat themselves. They need to figure out how to this weekend to overcome the silly stuff that is holding them back. If you could do that, you can go out there. And you may not win, right? Because Alabama is a talented team. You may not win, but you're definitely. And I said this before. This needs to be the game where you say to yourself, I'm not going to put bad film out there. You got aspirations to go play pro. This ain't going to be the game where you're going to see bad film on me. I'm going to go and I'm going to handle business on film. You're going to see me being technically sound. You're going to see me being where I'm supposed to be on these plays. When I get there on defense, I'm going to wrap up and I'm going to get the tackle. If I'm there on offense, I'm going to make the catch. I'm going to make the throw, all of that stuff. This needs to be a technically sound game, because if you do that, I think you give yourself a chance to win. Forget what the talent disparity supposedly is, because you've been like that every other game this season. You've had opportunities and you've squandered them just because you weren't being sound in a couple of moments. You dropped the ball when it was wide open for you to be able to convert on that third down. You didn't see the wide open receiver that was there for you to be able to make that play a little bit easier. You didn't make the tackle. That's what you need to be able to do. Do the stuff that you've been doing all year, but do it soundly, because you've been there, especially against a team like Georgia at your own crib. Y'all were there in that game. Don't let the little mental lapses be the reason why you lose this one, because you're going to hate going back and watching that film later. If you just got beat and they're, making crazy catches in the corner of the end zone like New Mexico State did, tip your hat on that stuff. But don't let it be, I shot the wrong gap on this particular play and I put myself out of position, and then that gave up a 40-yard scamper to Jalen Milroe. Don't let that be the reason. For sure. Y'all, all this talent crap, man, that's not the reason that you're losing football games. You've got the talent.
Yeah.
Get the mental portion of this down, and you guys will go out there and you'll put a good show on, and that crowd will fuel you to make this game look interesting there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Appreciate that, gentlemen. Ephesians 2, verse 8 through 9 says, Fair going to be here next year? Been neglected.
Oof.
I mean, I don't know the answer to that question. I think that comes down to who's going to be the quarterback, though.
Yeah.
They got to answer the quarterback question.
Right. Because this is not good enough. I've seen conversations, just people conjecture about, I wonder what we're going to do with quarterback next year. And I saw some people saying, it's going to be Peyton Thorne, guys, because he's really not that. Stop. I'm like, let me block all these people right now, because you ain't watching the same games we're watching.
Yeah. The Auburn. I mean, again, we've already talked about, based on how they've handled the QB room this year, they're going to have to go to the portal for sure. I'll be surprised if there's no changes in the QB room after this portal window. 14RH, my kick says, what's the best defense Bama has played this year? I would probably have to say A&M
or Tennessee.
Statistically, probably to A&M or Tennessee. Who played them the best defensively? Probably
A&M.
I don't know. That Arkansas game, they played pretty good defensively in spots in that game.
I don't count South Florida.
Yeah, South Florida. Yeah. A&M held them to the least amount of points of any SEC. Yeah, I'll go A&M.
A&M and Ole Miss, because they only had 24 in both those games.
Had 26 in A&M.
26 at A&M.
Oh, when Ole Miss, they won 24-10?
Yeah, Ole Miss. So I take that back. Ole Miss is the one who held them to the least amount of points with 24. So, but Ole Miss ain't the best defense that they faced.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Arkansas isn't either, but they held them to 24. Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah. Okay. Chris S says every play needs to be a trick play.
I hadn't seen one successful trick play from Auburn this year. Nope. I don't want to. Whatever they trick play bag is, throw that out.
Trick plays are plays where we execute our offense.
Fooled you. We actually ran the play right. Yeah, that's what we.
Oh, hilarious. Oda Smith, appreciate the super chat. It says in July, I called a 7-5 floor with one of those 7 wins being a statement win. If you win, and this is it, 31-20 Auburn, War, MF, and Eagle. If Bama dies, they die.
He dies.
I'm not mad at it. Corey Weber says, from a recruiting perspective, we really need to be in this game.
Yes, we can't get rid off the field.
I actually don't think that that's true. Because from a talent perspective, everybody expects you to get blown out in this game. I think what needs to happen from a recruiting perspective is that they see effort and the right kind of environment on the sidelines. Now, a lot of that will play into whether or not we are in this game, whether or not people are sulking on the sidelines. But if your effort and energy is right on the sidelines early in that game, when you're still in it and the environment is right, that plays a lot of dividends in recruiting, because this entire season, what they've been selling to recruits is we're not talented. So getting blown out by people when they expect you to not be as talented, that's not going to be what happens, or what's going to be what makes somebody say, man, but they almost beat Bama. I can go. No, that ship is stale.
I would say this. I say this. I agree, Ike, but as I'm thinking about that, as you were talking, we have to think about what it did for Keontae Scott. They already know all those things you said, but when you add the environment on top of that as well, some of the best experiences when we're in this game. So I do understand the point Corey Dub is making here. I think you do too, but I think it definitely helps to boost the significance of the weekend.
It will help. Now,
sure,
it will help.
I don't
know how much it hurts if we don't do it though.
That's fair.
I think that if it's like that thing that pushes it over the top if you do that. But I think a lot of these kids really have their mind made up, and they're trying to take another visit to either they just taking a free visit because they can do it, or they're coming to just kind of see, hey, the last time I came, the crowd was like this. What's it going to be?
Some of these kids have already had their free visit already. They just coming to be in the place. So
I mean, they're going to still get into the game for free. Is my point. Like they'll get in free. They're not paying to get in the game.
I think we need to be in this game because a second week of getting blown out at home, I think that's damaging, because you look bad one week. I think at the very least you need to look like you rally
too
after that. That's what I think. I mean, I'm with you, Ike, that hey, if we get blown out by a more talented team, even though we can usually play them close here, does that kill it with recruits? No, but
you already used up your mulligan last week,
right? Like that was your
opponent.
Right,
yeah.
Because if Hugh Freeze is the point of contact with a lot of these guys, like we've heard he is, then what you and hey man, listen, last week was crazy. Just come down this week. We're gonna show you something better. Like you can't. I think it looks bad to parents then, and they have to question, why don't these players want to play for you? Like you couldn't get them up for this game after last week. I don't know. Let's go take a couple other visits. I don't know if this is a spot for you, son. That's what I think. I think you need to be in this game. Close loss at worst. No more than 10 points. Be in this game.
I don't even know if I agree with that. Again, we've seen these types of games where Auburn has been in it and lost by 14. Right, the final score isn't indicative of what we saw throughout the game.
Right.
I think if Auburn could make Bama work in the second half,
I guess that's more
that's
of
a
what
victory.
I mean. Is that like you don't need to get like manhandled the entire game, but I don't think that
Right.
it needs to be down to the last drive type of game. I think it just needs to be your effort and energy needs to be there the entire time, and even if it's a 2-score game at the end, you need to show fight through 4 quarters.
Yeah.
Right. And I think if you do that, mission accomplished. All right. Charles Allen says, do y'all think Coach Freeze will call the
Yes.
plays this weekend on Montgomery?
Freeze. I think I think he's going to
Yeah.
listen, man. Look, bro, it ain't no more games to not call plays for. What are we doing? Like, yes,
Yeah.
he's gonna call plays. Yeah.
At this point in the season, after your last game would have been played, you don't have any more. You don't have too much more selling to do. Like, this would be the biggest sale you can give any recruit between now and early signing day is a victory or a very close loss. This is where what your on-field product is will do just as much talking for you as you can do after this point. So if he's been going back and forth between recruiting and play calling, hey man, call the plays. That is equivalent to recruiting for the Iron Bowl. They are the same thing. Call the plays, show well on the field.
Corey Dale comes back and says, did you guys see Saturday will be the final home game for Dr. Andrews? Talk about the end of an era.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I did see that. Man, hey, listen, he's been. I don't know who gonna pick up the torch for that dude because he's been out here fixing everybody, bro.
Everybody.
Yeah.
The best surgeon in sports wide at one point. I don't know if he's still the go-to, but I remember it wasn't too far-fetched to see like really famous current athletes flying into Birmingham to go get hooked up by like Dr. Andrews. Like, that was crazy. I remember people saying they seen like Donovan McNabb, Allen Iverson. Like, it was like that. We had that guy. That guy was our doctor. That's crazy.
Yeah,
for sure. Steve Bradley says, I'm not sunshine pumping, but I think this past Saturday has something to do with this week's game. If not, then it will be a long day. No turnovers, please, and no easy gimmies. Make them earn everything.
Listen, man, you can sunshine pump for the Iron Bowl, bro. I ain't even mad at you, bro.
Yeah, pump it up.
Go for it. This is the week of sunshine pump, man. Screw them.
All right, man. Listen, we're gonna be out. Ike, tell the folks, because I know you're doing a film review tomorrow, right?
I'm gonna try to get to it tomorrow. We'll see how it works.
Friday,
yeah.
So
We'll see what's up on that. But if you want to get in on the film review stuff, you gotta be a member. It's on demand for those of you who are patrons. But we'll be doing that, and we will have definitely reaction film review, all that kind of stuff. And then halftime of the game, if you're watching virtually, then you have to be a member to be a part of that. If you want to gift memberships before we get out of here, you can do that right now from the live chat. Click in with the network, the College Loop, Auburn Express, Up Tempo, and Just a Sec podcasts. Merch store is open and available for you at thewarreport.com. Go there and grab yourself some stuff. And that is all the ways that you can support the guys here on the War Report.
And before you get out of here, please do the necessary and share this video. Smash that like button to this video and subscribe to our channel. If you just found us, welcome, by the way. Also, you can find us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, even Facebook at The War Report. We are TW Report on TikTok. Zipper now, guys. We will definitely catch you Friday for the morning drop, Facts or Nah edition. Enjoy your holiday. Happy Thanksgiving to all. And as always, War Eagle.
War Eagle.